We are live.
Live
we are.
All right. That's awesome.
Alrighty. Whoa.
That can't happen.
No, it can't. Alrighty.
Here we are, episode number
5. Welcome back to Beer and Beef Jerky number 5.
Now,
my name is Casey.
I'm Mike.
We have beer.
He's my son. That makes me his father. So, it has taken us 5 solid episodes over the course of 6 weeks to finally get this right and do what it was intended.
Yeah.
In the beginning, beer and beef jerky. Let's just start with the beer.
Let's do it, dude. Let's take a step back. We don't talk about what we drink and eat on this.
No, but we're going to start. So, if there are any beer aficionados out there, any connoisseurs of the IPA in particular, you will know that one of, if not the holy grail of the world of IPAs is the Dogfish Head 120. 120-minute IPA. Before you do that, we should probably toast. We don't do that. Spit it back in the glass. No. It is 17, 18, 19% alcohol.
Yeah, it's ridiculous for a beer.
It is the smoothest and least bitter IPA that you could ever expect to drink, especially at that alcohol content. It is ridiculous.
It shouldn't be what it is.
It's magic.
It shouldn't be.
It is magical, and one day I will clone it.
We need to. 121.
So, before we toast, that's what we're drinking today. And Casey, you explain what we're eating.
So the first beer and beef jerky, we had neither beer nor beef jerky.
Yes.
And then we slowly got the beer and the beef jerky down a little bit. Gas station stuff. But now I finally decided that I was going to make some beef jerky.
Yes.
I used to make beef jerky all the time, and it is delicious. It is not the cheapest snack to do, but it's not bad. So I decided that I was going to make my house recipe beef jerky, which is just the same marinade that I use when I marinate steaks or chicken or whatever for the grill. But as a jerky, it's pretty damn tasty.
It's delicious.
Yeah. And not only did I make some nice classic beef jerky, I made bacon jerky.
Oh, man.
Bacon jerky is surprisingly not surprising at all because it's bacon.
Wonderful choice.
Delicious.
In a life of bad choices.
Yeah. What?
I'm sorry.
I bought the last pack of uncured bacon. And I, on a whim, made bourbon maple bacon jerky.
It, too, is delicious.
It wins awards.
Yeah, in this house.
From the dog and my girlfriend. They both enjoyed thoroughly. The dog enjoyed the beef jerky as well. But it was a good chip. So I'm finally glad that we have
I've
good
never
jerky.
Heard you refer to Sam as your girlfriend. It's always just Sam.
Really?
Yeah. Untitled, unlabeled Sam.
I don't know that that's true.
Impressive.
I think you're mistaken.
Things are getting serious.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like we have a house and like a mortgage.
Yeah.
Shit.
So, both jerkies, I've sampled them. Delicious. We've had this beer throughout the years. It is not easy to find. It only exists certain times of the year.
Yeah, they only make it certain times of the year, don't they?
So here we are. So I say cheers to you.
Absolutely.
Cheers to Big Chunky. And a somber note, as we're going to go into, we are drinking to one Chadwick Boseman. So,
Black Panther. The Black Panther himself.
Let's
who I'm pretty sure would enjoy a Dogfish Head 121 or 120.
I don't know if he was a beer
bacon jerky.
Don't know if he was a beer drinker. Or a bacon eater. But
is he a vegetarian?
I would imagine. I don't know. I'd imagine that one of the two things would have enticed him. But all seriousness, let's go ahead and jump into it. So, as everyone knows now, Chadwick Boseman has left us suddenly. Actually, surprisingly, it's a rare occasion.
Yeah. That
a celebrity at his level dies of an illness.
Of cancer.
So suddenly.
Yeah, you don't really like. I'm incredibly surprised it didn't get leaked by somebody because people had to have known.
Yeah, I mean
that he had really bad colon cancer.
From what I've seen, it's friends and family from what I've heard, the folks at Marvel Studios knew. Obviously, he was going through treatment as he filmed. I mean, as well, just go back to the beginning. A statement that his family issued on Twitter mentioned that he had been battling cancer since 2016. So you can go back and see that he basically filmed in Black Panther, Avengers Endgame, and Infinity War, all while he was battling this illness. So they knew about it. But it is it's a strange year, this 2020. We've lost two extremely important figures in our lives, and two sudden deaths with Kobe and Chadwick.
Man, this has been crazy.
So it's like you don't expect. It's every death is a tragedy. A tragic death like Kobe, when it's a freak accident, that's one thing. Obviously, there's no preparation for it, but it's just extremely interesting that you're right, in this day and age where everything is out everywhere, that he was able and his family was able to keep it under wraps.
Yeah.
So it's very important. And I watched a clip of him talking about shooting Black Panther and how he befriended and visited several very small children with terminal cancer.
Oh, really?
And you think back on it, and it's like, well, he was just now battling this himself as he was doing this around the 2016 area, and he talked about it in a press conference, and he broke down in tears because he was like, these kids were telling him how important this movie was to them, and like they've done things that I've jokingly done internally in the past, where you're like, I just want to make it, until this comes out, and I just at some point in time, I was like, I just wanted to make it until the Avengers movie came out, and I just wanted to make it until this whatever comes out, and it's all superficial, stupid stuff. But these kids were saying to Chadwick, we just want to make it long enough to see this movie.
Yep.
And it really, really destroyed him. And now, of course, knowing what we know and how it all ended up, it's kind of an amazing thing. When we think about Chadwick and his very short period of time in movies, like he really had a humongous influence in a extremely short amount of time. It's about a 7-year period, about 2013 on. Mm-hmm. He played so many prominent African American figures, starting with Jackie Robinson in 42.
Yeah, I didn't see that movie.
And it's a great movie. Played James Brown and Get On Up.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, played Thurgood Marshall in Marshall just a couple years ago. And of course, as far as comics are concerned, really, it's like the Black Panther is the biggest, I don't want to say tribute, but he's the, I guess, the best personification of an African American hero that we've got
by far.
And it's,
oh my god, yeah.
I don't think it's close, and it's been magnified since the movies have come out. But Stan Lee and Jack Kirby back in the day, in 1965, I believe it was, they created this character for a reason, and we had to wait so long.
Is he that old?
Yeah.
Damn. I didn't know that he was that old in a character.
It was Fantastic Four number 52, wow. And of course Fantastic Four started in 61, so yeah, you're talking 65.
Wow.
Or so. So yeah, it was right in the middle of the mess, the civil rights movement. And so they create this character. He is what he is for a long time, but really it was the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it was their foresight to see the importance of a movie like that, and it was a cultural phenomenon. Black Panther, as far as comics were concerned, he wasn't even a B-list character. He wasn't. He may have been like a C-list kind of character throughout the years. Had his moments, but he wasn't Captain America or Iron Man or Spider-Man.
Well, I mean, shit, even
or Batman or Superman.
Even Iron Man was a B-tier character at some
point.
But
when I heard the news in the cinematic universe of them making a Black Panther movie, I was kind of like, my first thought was like, all right. I mean,
that's kind of how I feel with a lot of the modern,
it's like
a lot of the new choices that they have for movies coming out.
Right, you got so much to play with. Why the Black Panther? And I'm just so glad they did. It was a fantastic movie. The rendition of Wakanda that was portrayed on screen is so integral to the MCU and the comic book world now. It was just so well done. But really, when we think about it, Chadwick Boseman's portrayal of T'Challa in the Black Panther, it made it all. Because they could have got some actor in there that was a dud, you know, and then the movie flops, and then it doesn't turn. But he did such a great job. Like Ryan Coogler, the director, and of course the movie was fantastic in and of itself, but he did such a fantastic job at portraying that character. And of course it started in Civil War, but it really magnified there.
Yeah.
That it really took this character and his importance to comics and the MCU to the next level. I don't know how many other actors that are on the planet right now that could have done what Chadwick had done for the character. And then it's like I've reflected upon it in the last few days, and it's like one of the most interesting things to me about the Black Panther and how they portrayed him in the movies was that when you look at Captain America, he was the leader of the Avengers. He was this war hero from World War II. People automatically looked up to him. But in the moments where Black Panther and Captain America met, they were equals. There was no, oh my God, Captain America. It was like, we're equals now. Mm-hmm. And Chadwick's portrayal of it, you know, his presence on screen made that possible. Made it believable, which is like really important for it to be believable.
Yeah, for someone like Black Panther of all characters to stand up to someone like Captain America.
Yeah, and just like you just felt like, oh, these people are equals.
Yeah,
which was not the case in the comic books.
No, the cinematic universe has changed a lot of things.
Yeah,
it made the Guardians of the Galaxy prominent.
Well, of course, yeah, of course. But then when I reflected on it, I was like, now that what we know about Chadwick and his last few months. It's like it takes a certain kind of person. Like it almost feels like it wasn't a stretch to be this kingly character, this character of such high pride and integrity and strength and everything it takes to be like a king of a great nation.
Right.
It's like this dude was putting colon cancer aside to do this job. Because he knew how important it was.
It's
to do the job right.
Yeah, and it's extremely important from what I understand, being an outsider obviously, but like Black Panther was one of those movies that really brought African American kids into the like it was to African American kids, Black Panther was what Spider-Man is to me, really. Because Spider-Man is like it's one of those things where it's easily relatable no matter who you are, to an extent. And of course, we know the whole story about Miles Morales, where just Spider-Man could be anybody, and I imagine he's black. But this is a very prominent character that is very clearly black, very clearly. Yeah. It's not behind a mask or anything.
The Black Panther.
Yeah, it's very important. From what I understand, for African American kids.
For everybody, and the world has changed so much since Black Panther came out. It's not because of Black Panther.
Well, no,
but the significance of that movie making that much money.
It made a killing, didn't it?
Oh yeah, like 1.2, 1.5 billion, whatever it was.
Okay.
It was a lot of money.
All right then.
It made all the money. But the significance of that is so important. I think as the years go by and as the world hopefully progresses to where it needs to go as far as race relations are concerned, hopefully this could be that movie and the success of it can be one of the points to say, like, we proved that we could do it. Like at least in this little pocket of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and at least the little buildings that held the theaters, as a diverse group of people, a more diverse group of people going to see a particular type of movie. And there were no incidents. It was a great movie, well reviewed, won a bunch of awards, made a shit ton of money. but I think from a long-term perspective, it is going to be maybe the most important movie that comes out of the MCU.
Is that right?
As far as the world is concerned. Maybe not the storyline. Yeah, this was essentially, it's an all-black cast. From director all the way down to the cast. And that was the big thing. It was like our audiences, and it was a shame that in this day and age we even had to ask the question. But that was the question.
What?
Like, can an all-black cast and a quote-unquote black movie succeed? And yeah. I mean, the answer was yeah.
Yeah, let's go Ancient Aliens.
Absolutely.
Ancient Aliens theorist.
Yeah. And it worked. And
resounding yes.
Because of Chadwick Boseman, it worked extremely well. He's one of those magnetic characters. And again, when you can, I encourage everybody to dig in to the life and the person that he was, because it just seemed like, unlike so many, he's not young. He's my age. And he was a year older than I was.
It's far too young to die of colon
cancer. Far too young. But I'm saying that I was going to start talking about movie stars this day and age.
Oh,
and
yeah.
How they,
yeah.
You know, how they're kind of caught up in this, or their ego gets a hold of them and they do that. And it just seemed like Chadwick was like immune to all of those things. And he was doing everything, it seemed, the right way, for the right reasons. He never had an instance where he really showed anything but total class in front of the camera. Extremely humble. I mean, this dude, like I've already mentioned, he played some of the most prominent black figures in the history on screen.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question later on when you're done with your
I'm
explaining.
And that's what I was kind of tying into the whole playing Black Panther was. It may not have been a stretch because the character that has to be portrayed to play the king of a nation that has to always do the right thing, even if it's hard, and to make the right decision, not for himself, but for people. You know, it takes a certain type of person to be able to do that properly in a leadership role. So going from the real world to the screen, like you can tell that he already had a lot of those characteristics built into him. So for him, it probably wasn't a big deal. Like he had to get the accent down.
Yeah.
You know, and he had to do some other things. He had to do some fighting and jumping and running or whatever. But to bring the presence of a kingly figure onto the screen, I don't know that was any effort at all. Like I think he just had to walk onto the screen because that's
what good actors do, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that was his true nature. Like it felt like that was his true. Like he didn't have to do any acting to really have that aura about him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know the guy, but definitely could be.
Yeah, I mean, listen, nobody's perfect, but everything again, he was so classy, you know, and he just extremely, extremely humble. Like he was a shooting star. You don't play Jackie Robinson and Thurgood Marshall and the Black Panther and who am I forgetting? James Brown. Like you don't get to play all those people and not be considered as a shooting star in the world of Hollywood, and especially Black Hollywood. Like I had conversations with my buddies Harry. I was like, he's going to be like the most significant. He was on the path to be the most significant African American actor maybe ever.
Just because of how prominent the roles are?
He was, well, that's part of it. Like first of all, he's really good.
Yeah.
He's so good. He's like a good looking dude and a great actor. And
I'm going to tell you right now, just from looking at him, I didn't know he was 43.
No,
I thought he was way younger than that.
Of course. But yeah, I mean, for a lot of reasons, the roles he played, man, playing Jackie Robinson is like especially if you're a black man playing certain roles. I mean, that's a high standard. Like you can't mail that performance in.
There's been a lot of prominent figures there.
You've got to do that right.
Yeah.
You got to be Jackie Robinson right, and you got to be Thurgood Marshall right. You got to be those characters properly. Like you have to really perform. You just can't show up and get your paycheck.
Yeah.
You know, so to throw those performances out there in such big roles and to do them with such class and acceptance from everybody that watched it. Yeah, he was on his path to superstardom.
Yeah,
like superstardom. We talk about black actors like it's Morgan Freeman and Denzel Washington.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman and Denzel Washington were the two that came to my mind.
I think he was going to surpass all of them. Like, I feel like he was. Now, Morgan Freeman had been doing this for 150 years.
Yes.
But I had a little joke that I used to tell Terry. I was like, whenever they do the movie, whenever Morgan Freeman finally passes on, and I don't want to
stop that right now.
Not that I'm hopeful.
You stop that.
But like eventually he's going to have to age. He's been 80 for 50 years.
Yeah.
Since Shawshank Redemption, he's been like 80. And that's whatever. It's a running joke. So, but when he passes on, and they eventually do the movie of Morgan Freeman, my joke was that Chadwick Boseman was going to play Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, that probably would have been
right. Like that was going to be the case.
It, honestly, yeah.
And he would have did a great job.
I'm sure he would.
He would have been a fantastic Morgan Freeman. But I don't know. It's just a sad, unexpected, very unexpected.
Shit, dude. Of all of the people,
there
are people that are like aging out. Like, what's his name? Regis Feldman died this year.
Yeah,
but like,
well, I mean,
dude was 100 years old.
I mean, put it this way: there's a joke. I think they're real, but people have their death pools. Who's going to die? What famous person is going to die next? There's that.
Oh yeah,
that exists.
Yeah, Betty White and Morgan Freeman have been on that fucking list for.
Betty White been on there for 20 years, and and Chadwick Boseman and Kobe Bryant.
What?
I mean,
yeah, like what?
You can talk about
God.
You can talk about like global pandemics that kill hundreds of thousands.
Sure.
Everything else has gone on in this God-forsaken year, but it's like the two most shocking. Like it's more shocking that Chadwick Boseman and Kobe Bryant suddenly died the way they did than us having a global pandemic. Because you have a global pandemic, and you're like, oh well, yeah, it's happened before.
Yeah, I mean that's an adjustment you have to make, but it's not like a shock or anything. You're just like,
no.
When it comes to a pandemic, you're just like, okay, you have to adjust your way of life. But when Kobe dies in a fucking plane crash, or helicopter crash, or whatever, you're just like, what?
Yeah, like
Kobe Bryant? No.
Yeah, you're like, no, that's it's like we're not and we want to be sensitive. We're not in the family. It's like
no, God no.
We're reacting, and I've had a hard time. Like I really expected to see really great things out of him for years and years. So it's been a little tough. But like we're not friends and family, so like there's a sliver of grief that we're feeling at this point.
But that's the thing about
the grief has been there.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's the thing about the prominent characters that live in this world is that you don't have to know somebody personally for them to affect you when they die.
No.
At all, especially with how interconnected the world is nowadays. Because you can see what everybody's thinking on the in any instant on Twitter.
Yeah, and
you get on there and you feel like you know a part of them, and they're suddenly just gone.
You take superstardom out of it, and all that goes away, and it's like he was a person, and he was married to a person.
Yeah,
and his family are people, real tangible people, and I'm thankful because he was battling this stuff for 4 years, and yet he was shooting movies. He was doing press conferences. He was at events. He went to Comic-Con. It's like, so during this mess of an ordeal that he was dealing with personally, that was potentially life-threatening, and obviously was, like his wife is sharing this man with the world, so it's like there's so much sacrifice that he gave up, in his family showed, and it's just amazing because if this was quote unquote, if this was a normal person going through this, like there's so many people that battle cancer, and it's awful. Everybody's been affected by it.
Yep.
And it's like they don't leave their rooms. It's like there comes a situation where you get to a point, you're stage 3, stage 4, you don't exist anymore. And this guy was out there shooting movies.
How many movies was he shooting recently? I mean, not very recently. It's been like barring COVID, because I've seen pictures of him. I guess pretty recently, and he was pretty skinny looking.
Yeah, you could see it.
Yeah, I don't know.
You could see it going back a couple years when he was shooting the Avengers movies, Infinity War and Endgame. You could see it. Looking back now.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell.
But Anyway, like yeah, there's not a whole lot to say. You want to be sensitive, and I just hope that Disney and Marvel do the right thing at this point. My personal opinion, the right thing to do with the character of Black Panther is to I can't imagine they even consider for 1 minute recasting Black Panther.
Nope.
Of course, Black Panther 2 was in the works. It was gonna be
that's one of the things. I thought that Black Panther was like pretty much done, shot.
No.
I thought it was shot and ready to go. I didn't know that it wasn't. That it wasn't done yet.
No, it's not. I don't believe any filming has been done. I think
really?
I think it's a few years out.
Oh wow, no, I thought that was supposed to come out pretty near in the future. Okay.
No, I think it was going to be initially like a late 2021 film.
Oh,
and it's maybe gotten pushed back since then, and now, who knows?
Yeah,
we all knew that Shuri eventually was going to become the Black Panther, and then T'Challa, and Chadwick's portrayal of T'Challa would be something else. And of course, that obviously can't happen now. You're not going to recast him.
No, I don't think that they will.
They've got decisions.
I don't think that they can come up with another T'Challa.
It doesn't even matter if someone like created in a vat of science the perfect actor to play T'Challa, like it still wouldn't be acceptable, I believe, in this world, because Chadwick was Black Panther,
right?
Like he was,
yeah.
And so they've got to move on from there. So they've got some decisions to make creatively, from a creative standpoint, because it was going to be a big movie. Like it was, people had talked about Captain Marvel and Black Panther 2 being like semi-Avengers films,
Oh, really?
And we had talked about Black Panther 2 either maybe include, because of the history of Black Panther and Doctor Doom and Namor, like that could have been the one that introduces Namor, could have been the one that introduces Doctor Doom, it could be the one that introduces Storm. So it was potentially going to be a huge thing. But now I don't know. I mean, it's uncertain, and in the grand scheme of things, who cares? Honestly.
Yeah, who cares about the movies?
Right. Like
really?
I love the movies and I love the comics, but really who cares when it's all said and done? If nothing, this fucking year of 2020 and everything that's come with it should have taught us a few things about what really matters in our lives. So hopefully some of that is sinking into a lot of people, and the movies don't matter. We'll find out what we find out, but it's just, again, it was just like a shock. I saw the text on Friday and I just didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. I thought it was a joke, because I'm like, how the hell could he die of cancer? I just saw him doing flips and fighting Thanos and his evil minions.
Yeah,
There's no fucking way. No, he probably wasn't doing flips, but he was on the screen and he was doing plenty of shit.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he was out there. It wasn't in bed. I'll tell you that much.
No. So, I mean, he's one to be missed. You talk about somebody who just came, he wasn't one of these child superstar actors that just progressed through, his teens and 20s. He kind of came on the scene as an early 30-year-old, 30-something-year-old, and fucking blew up.
Yeah, what did he really start with?
I don't know. Like, I don't know his filmography too well, other than it basically, like, I know his first big thing was the Jackie Robinson movie. And actually, he did such a good job as Jackie. He looked like Jackie Robinson in that movie. He did such a good job that when he became the Black Panther, I had seen 42 several times, with all the kids, and I didn't recognize him. Like, I wasn't even thinking, like, hey, that's the guy that played Jackie Robinson. Are you looking up his filmography?
I am looking up his filmography. I want to see when he started. Wait, no, that is impossible. He was not an actor in something that came out in 1970.
Nope. He was born in 76.
Yeah. Well, I guess he's been acting regularly, I guess, since 2003. He was on Third Watch, whatever that is, in 2003. Then he was on Law and Order, Date, CSI New York.
So he was like a guest star on some random TV shows.
Yeah. Whatever.
Well, I mean, I assumed it wasn't his first acting gig, but I think the thing that really projected him to superstardom or anywhere close to it, I thought was 42.
Yeah, you're right. There was I've heard of this thing called Fringe. I guess it's a TV series. But yeah, his first prominent movie, or this might have been his first movie at all. Yeah, because there's a little short, whatever The Express is. He's been in a bunch of short stuff, but then, like, his first real movie. Do you know what The Kill Hole is?
No.
Okay. Well, his first prominent movie was 42.
Yeah. Well, thanks to the casting folks over at that were in charge of 42, because they discovered someone there who was like, he's legitimately great, man. He's a great actor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but like I said, this isn't one of those reactions to somebody has died and passed on, and now it's, their existence has been glorified through death. It's not that. And we've been talking about this he's a great actor. Really makes you wonder why it took so long in life, into his 30s to become who he became.
I don't know why that happened so much.
I don't know his backstory, but there's nothing that I've seen of him, and I've seen like everything since 42.
Nah, you haven't, but
Well, I mean, no, I mean like the big movies, and it's like he's nothing less than like stellar in any of them.
Yeah.
So it's a big loss.
Yeah.
It's a big loss to the world. Obviously, his family, his friends, who just did a ridiculous job of keeping this under wraps.
I can't believe that
really can't get
that didn't come out. I can't believe it didn't come out.
I can't get over it. Like, I have been talking about Chadwick Boseman so long, I forgot there was beef jerky here.
Beef and bacon jerky. And beer.
So, yeah, man, this one, it's been a rough couple days. It's just, you don't expect that stuff, man. It puts things into perspective for sure.
It's weird. It is weird.
Maybe my age.
Yeah, I hope you don't have colon cancer.
I don't think I do.
You probably know by now.
Maybe. But anyway, I don't know if there's much more I can say about Chadwick Boseman, other than he is going to be missed for sure.
Yep.
A big loss. This was the prime of his career.
Yeah, no, dude, it looked like he was just getting started.
My argument was Terry was like, what's the more significant death between Kobe and Chadwick? And I argued that, well, Kobe is semi-legendary at this point in time.
Yeah.
He's no longer in this prime of his career. He's a basketball player, so he was done. Chadwick had another, I don't even know how many decades he could have gone.
Forever.
Yeah. So
forever he could have gone.
You don't see too many people like suddenly die in the prime of their career, and this was certainly one of them. Which, to the outsider, to the fan, makes it sad, a little more sad.
Yeah, sure.
Because we've got our selfish needs to consume whatever entertainment they were going to provide for us. Has been dashed away.
Yeah.
But I expected, so much more.
Yeah, no, I like it. It sucks. Like it reminds me of when, because I listen to a podcast called Roundtable of Gentlemen, made by the same guys that do the last podcast on the left, and all their friends over at that podcast network. But when Kevin Barnett of Roundtable of Gentlemen, he died, just out of nowhere, just died, straight up.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been listening to that podcast for however long I listened to it, and the whole point of that podcast is to just feel like you're hanging out drinking with your boys. So on some kind of level, it sucks because you have this familiar presence that's been in your life for in some kind of way, and then they're just gone.
Yep.
And it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, when you get to be like an old dude like me, you get to see like your sports people and like your your musicians, actors that you grew up loving, and just listen. Time takes its toll, and people die off. But to see folks taken in their prime, in their youth.
Yeah, and that's what really sucked about Kevin Barnett is that he was like he was getting big.
He was on his way.
He was selling scripts and being a producer for a lot of shows on Comedy Central and all kinds of other shit. So he was just getting started. He was gonna be big. He was gonna be a big time probably producer later on in his, probably when he got to his 40s. But man, it sucks that things can happen before anything really takes off. Maybe not before it takes off, but because of course Chadwick Boseman, his career took off, but it would have been interesting to see where it landed in the future.
Yeah, and we're left with a legacy, and we'll see if some powerful creative folks can't somehow glorify the legacy a little bit, maybe do it justice, show it some tribute going forward. The family's dealing with the loss of a loved one. The rest of us fans are dealing with the loss of someone we really love to watch. Yeah. Admired. So hopefully for us fans outside the inner circle, we leave it to the folks at Marvel and other places to hopefully do his memory some justice. And we'll just have to wait and see on that.
Yeah.
As we're waiting to see on everything else in this world.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to see what goes on. Can't really predict anything nowadays, at least.
No.
But
so anyway,
I guess
that's all I've got to say. It's been a bummer of a couple days because of that.
Sucks.
Makes you start to think. But moving on to a lighter note, we do have a little segment here.
Yeah, sure.
That we will attempt to keep doing on the live stream, the podcast, the Beer and Beef Jerky podcast, where I
can't say the name.
Can't say things properly.
Christ.
Where I spend money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is a bit somber, but I think today was a good day to kind of look into the Black Panther comics. So in this segment, where Mike spends your money / my money.
I hope you don't expect me to put anything on the screen because I have nothing ready.
You don't?
No.
You should probably get something ready.
We're live, dog.
Can you get something ready in like 2 seconds?
I mean, I don't know what you want me to put on the screen, but I can put whatever you want me to put on the screen.
I can keep talking. You can edit this a little bit to put on the YouTube channel.
Sure.
Yeah, so my version of Mike spends $100 this week is going to be on Black Panther comics. Okay. So yeah, Casey, if you just go into our Google Drive, it's right there.
Oh, is it?
Sure.
Sure or yes?
Yeah. I think go in Beer and Beef Jerky, and then you should see the $100 section.
All of these? All of these you want?
There's like 6 of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah.
All right.
So in this segment of Mike Spends Your Money, you found a $100 bill in your pocket. You want to buy some comics with it. I'm going to focus you down the right path. And given the circumstances, we're going to talk about Black Panther today. So many of the great issues surrounding Black Panther are valuable. They're older comics, so you're not going to do much with $100 as far as those are concerned. But I have picked out 6 comic books that you can buy for $100 that, if you're a Black Panther fan, you should add to your collection.
Cool.
And the first one is Tales of Suspense, number 97. This one is in here. This Silver Age comic, 12-cent comic. It's so happens to be the first appearance of Whiplash, which was, I believe, the villain of Iron Man 2, the movie.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Besides that, this issue is, again, I can't get the first appearance of Black Panther. Can't even get the second appearance of Black Panther with a $100 bill. But what I can get is the first time that Black Panther meets Captain America, which is a significant event in comic books. And again, like we talked about already,
Yeah.
a significant event on screen.
Yeah, definitely.
And, you know, it's like that moment when they meet on screen more than anything was like, it's like, okay, Black Panther he's not just another character.
Yeah.
And he's a badass dude. So you can get a copy of Tales of Suspense number 97, mid-grade, for about $30.
Oh, okay.
So
That's not bad at all.
No, I've got one.
Oh.
I bought it a few years ago for even cheaper than that. Yeah. So
Cool.
So go ahead and grab that. That's the first time that Captain America and Black Panther meet, which is kind of cool.
Awesome.
Also, Avengers number 52.
This is probably a very hard.
To get in a good grade.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the old Avengers comics because there are so many like ridiculous backgrounds, just yellows and
What
reds.
is up with the highlighter yellow for all these fucking old books, dude?
Listen, when you get them and they're in good shape, nice grade, high grade.
Oh, they look so nice.
They're gorgeous.
God, first Punisher, gorgeous comic. Not faded.
So this is, I don't know, I would imagine 67, 68, if I had to guess. So this is the issue. As you can see, Black Panther's right there. He's going after the Grim Reaper. Because if you can see at the bottom of it, the Grim Reaper kills the Avengers.
Oh, no.
He's an Avenger murdering bastard.
God, you can't be doing that.
So you've got T'Challa himself, the Black Panther, reaching after him. But the significance of this book is that this is the issue in which Black Panther joins the Avengers.
Oh, that's very significant. Okay.
So again, mid-grade copy of this, you can still find for $20 to $30.
Really?
Yeah, not bad. I don't own this, but I will soon.
You should.
I will soon.
You should.
I'm on an Avengers kick right now. So those were the two Silver Age comics I think you could grab with the $100 bill. Again, mid-grade.
Cool.
And we're moving on to Fantastic Four, I believe number 119. This is it's an interesting comic. You can buy for like $10. You know, in pretty decent shape.
This cover is a lot.
There's a lot of shit going on the cover. Some of these Bronze Age Fantastic Four issues in particular, there's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff. You can see Black Panther is in jail for some reason.
Yeah, man, that sucks.
Some kind of prison. But the reason I chose this issue is because there was a very, very short period of time, and it may have been contained to just this one issue, but I'm not 100% sure on it. Because of the political climate that was going on, the Black Panther actually changed his name to the Black Leopard to distance himself from the affiliation of the Black Panthers.
Wow, okay. I didn't know that.
So he was called the Black Leopard in this issue. And again, I'm going to do some research on it and figure out the entire story because it's extremely interesting to me.
That's cool.
From a like political standpoint. But anyway, Bronze Age issue, again, a $10 issue. You can see the Black Panther called the Black Leopard.
Wow.
So I thought that was kind of neat.
Is that the only issue?
I don't know. I don't know if he was if there was a series, but he did change his name in this issue. So again, for historical purposes, I think it's well worth $10.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's interesting that they changed it.
I had no idea that was the thing. It's cool.
So it's kind of neat.
Oh my god.
Next on the list is New Avengers number 7, and it's kind of a hot book right now because of everything that's going on in the MCU. But
what's going on?
This is the first appearance of the Illuminati.
Oh.
So I wanted to include this. You know, what I kind of crafted this list, and I was trying to do it with a budget of $100, which was fairly difficult. I wanted to give as much of the spectrum, the broad range of spectrum that we could to the character of Black Panther. So, you know, we had his first appearance our first meeting of Captain America. We had when he joined the Avengers. He changed his name because of political reasons. And in this issue is the first appearance of the Illuminati. And of course, he is one of the Illuminati, which really, again, when you go back 50 years to the creation of the Black Panther, as important as it was, again, he remained a B or C or even D level character for decades. So for Bendis to include him in the Illuminati, just a handful of years ago, really led to the rise of what Black Panther would eventually become. So this is a significant issue in my opinion. I think the Illuminati is going to be a big deal going forward.
Do you think so?
In the MCU, absolutely.
Absolutely. Question. Who was in the Illuminati?
You're trying to quiz me. You're trying to test my knowledge.
I don't know the answer. I'm asking you a question because I don't know the answer.
Unfortunately, I haven't read a lot of this, but I read the Illuminati miniseries many years ago, and it was like Mr. Fantastic, of course, Reed Richards, Tony Stark.
Okay.
Black Bolt.
Who?
The leader of the Inhumans, Black Bolt.
Oh, okay.
Namor.
Okay.
Himself. Doctor Strange.
Obviously.
And I believe Professor X.
Another obvious one. Okay.
Yeah.
So those are...
I don't recall Black Bolt being in that version of the Illuminati that I read, but I guess he was. It's been so long since I read it. So,
going by how the MCU is going right now, everybody but Iron Man and I guess Black Panther,
right,
could be in the Illuminati.
Who knows how they're going to portray the Illuminati in the MCU? If it's going to
they do it,
if it's going to be like flashbacks, because that is one way to bring back Tony. If you want to bring back Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark,
yeah,
that's a way to do it. And say this Illuminati has existed, for a while, but it hasn't.
Yeah, tell a story that is in between.
Yeah, from a continuity standpoint, that wouldn't work. So
it could.
The version of the Illuminati that exists in the MCU is fluid, at best.
I guess so.
But
everything is.
But again, this is the first appearance of the Illuminati, and of course, Black Panther himself is a part of it.
That's very important. That's cool. I didn't know that.
So a couple more books here, really quickly. Wanted to throw this in here. I was running out of money. I had 2 Silver Age books that cost a little chunk. Then a couple other books that cost a few more chunks. So I only had a couple bucks to spare. But again, one of the most important parts of the mythos that is Black Panther is, of course, his relationship with Storm and eventual marriage, which I believe happened in the mid-2000s.
That was one of the things that was very speculated for Black Panther 2 was to be the introduction of Storm.
It felt like they may introduce Storm in a Black Panther movie because of their relationship history, and then the question was were they ever going to get married and whatever. So we won't go into that right now, but in the comics this was a big deal. It was a huge deal.
Yeah.
You can buy this for $5 all day long. Yeah.
When was this?
05, 06, somewhere around there.
Recently, I guess.
So wanted to include that again. I was running out of cash, but I wanted to buy a couple more things with my $100 that I could throw in there.
Yeah.
And the last book that I bought,
oh my god,
it was really just
what in the hell is this?
For aesthetic purposes, Marvel Fanfare number 60. So Marvel Fanfare was one of those series that Marvel did, which was just kind of like a showcase kind of book. Here's this and here's that, and look at this. There were a few key issues out of Marvel Fanfare that ended up being the first appearances of a few very minor characters.
Yeah.
But this is the final issue, as you can see at the top of it. It says final issue of Marvel Fanfare. So again, if you can see in the semi lower left hand corner, you can see that Walt Simonson himself. You can see his autograph there in the black to the left at the bottom.
I definitely don't see that, but we're very far away, so...
Yeah, well, there's a couple of people that worked on the cover. He was one of them. So, I love Walt Simonson.
Yeah, Walt Simonson.
I love his covers.
Yeah.
But again, this is just I don't know, it kind of struck me in a weird way when I saw this, and I was like, Marvel Fanfare, the final issue of it, with this regal picture of the Black Panther himself. And... for $3 to $5.
Yeah, you might as well.
I'll take a Walt Simonson Black Panther cover all day long. So
this feline can't eat my jerky.
Nope. And it shan't. So there's my 6 comics that if you have $100, feel free to go purchase. You can do it.
Yeah, if you're all about Black Panther, those are some very important issues.
There's some cool issues. There are a lot of cool things out there. And I skipped a lot of the stuff that happened in the Jungle Action series. Some other first appearances that were just kind of out of the price range to hit the $100 budget.
Sure.
But I think that's a good little depiction of 6 comic books that from the start you meet Captain America, you join the Avengers, you change your name, you're part of the Illuminati, you marry Storm. So it's like a very quick, life flashing before you kind of look at the Black Panther that you can grab with a $100 bill.
Not bad.
So if you are a Black Panther fan and you want to add some books to your collections, these are some good choices. If you are now so inspired to start a Black Panther collection, then by all means, take a $100 bill and you can grab those 6 issues.
Why are we dead?
Fairly easily.
Why is this happening to us?
What happened?
Okay.
So,
okay.
That is my list. I have successfully spent your money, as I will attempt to do every week.
Yes.
Next week, I'm going to spend your money on Batman comics.
Again?
We never did it last week.
Oh, we didn't do it. That's right. Alrighty. Well, yeah, man, I guess that was...
So there we go. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman.
Yes.
Sorely missed.
To absent friends. Hey.
You can't have the jerky.
Can't have the beef jerky. Alrighty.
So there you go.
I guess that's our show. Thank you, Sam, for listening to this episode. And thank you to anybody that watches it on YouTube when we repost this in just a second. And yeah, I guess for all the people on YouTube, leave us a comment down below of your memories of Chadwick Boseman as the Black Panther. Oh, I had a question for you.
Yep.
What was your favorite role that Chadwick Boseman played? Besides the Black Panther.
Besides Black Panther. I'm not a James Brown fan.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm not, but I'm not.
I get it.
Although he was great in it. His hair was ridiculous. You've got to look it up. It was, I was a baseball kid growing up, so it had to be Jackie Robinson.
I probably.
I grew up loving Jackie Robinson, wanting to be able to afford his baseball cards, but never could. Still can't. And he's part of the reason why I can't. Chadwick Boseman.
I believe it.
But great movie, great portrayal. I can see why it launched him to where it launched him, because it was so tough. Jackie Robinson went through some shit.
Yeah, really.
He went through some shit.
Really. Yeah.
But thanks to his good buddy and Louisville native, Pee Wee Reese.
Really?
He made it through it.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. We're from Louisville.
You can see it in the movie.
I haven't seen the movie. I need to watch.
So yeah, Jackie Robinson.
I need to watch the movie. Sam is right. There would be no MJ without James Brown. She is right.
I'm not arguing that he wasn't significant. I'm just not a fan of his music.
Trust me, I totally get it. I think you've had that argument with Joe. Is that like he's like James Brown is not my type, but Michael Jackson as an influence or taking influence from James Brown was a much better result than actual James Brown music, in my opinion. But you can fight me over that in the comment section down below. Yeah, half the rock bands wouldn't exist if the Rolling Stones didn't exist. Right? I'm not a Rolling Stones fan. No, yeah, I get it. There was a beginning to everything, but innovation. Yeah. Right. Oh, but of course, we have to go so the cat will stop trying to eat my meat. Whoa, shit just got real. It's okay. It's okay. You're lonely. It's all right. Yeah, he's so lonely down in the basement because he won't stop fighting our dog. It's like a prison cat. My God. Take it where you can get it. I'm gonna end this shit. Yeah, let's call it a day. Yep. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman. Rip Chadwick Boseman. I need to go watch all of his backlog. But for now, leave us a comment down below and tell us all of your Chadwick Boseman memories. And leave the video a like if you liked it. Dislike it if you didn't. Subscribe for more content like this. We do this podcast weekly. We'll see you on the next one. We need to end this. Bye.